A bill relating to produce safety civil penalty.
The senator from Stafford, Senator Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'd move the bill pass. And speaking to the bill.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, members of the body, this bill comes as a result of a Food Safety Act that was passed in Congress a few years ago. And what that federal act did was it requires us to participate in one of two ways. Either we can adopt a food safety program in Virginia where VDACs would supervise that and do inspections and enforcement for a very small percentage of our produce growers, or the federal government and the FDA will come in here and do it instead. So this is one of those bills that you just don't want to carry. But as chairman of Ag, I was the only one left because nobody else wanted it. And it really is. It's one of those complications. We just don't have any choice. If we refuse to adopt it, then the FDA is going to come in and inspect our produce farmers, and this really is just for the large growers. The problem is, while you hate to support something like this, it's really important to the growers that are subjected to it. I don't know if any of you all have ever had any dealings with any of the federal agencies, but I have clients who are subject to DOL, Federal Department of Labor, and they literally will come in and shut you down while they do inspections, and not just for minutes or hours, but sometimes for days. And you can't get anybody in the federal government to help you with this. At least if we adopt this, and VDACs does it, they are a reasonable and responsible agency. If our constituents have difficulties, then we can work with VDACs to try to cure those. So that's the bill. We did have testimony in committee from the people that would be affected by this, the growers, that they want the state to do it and not the feds. So with that, I'd move the bill pass.
Thank you, Senator. The senior senator from Loudoun County, Senator Black.
Thank you, Mr. President. With tremendous reluctance and respect for the gentleman from Stafford County, I rise to oppose Senate Bill 1195. Of all of the legislation that we have heard from constituents on during this session, this probably is the one that has generated the most concern of all. And so I simply reiterate some of the concerns expressed by farmers from around the state. And here are the things that they're saying. And you know, I cannot personally certify, but I can tell you that these are things that are on their minds. They say that the bill doesn't say when the Virginia Department of Agriculture Consumer Services can come onto their property or how often. It says that they've said that they'd have rights to come onto their farms daily if they wanted. There's no due process for the farmers, no notice to the farmers, no requirement for a warrant to enter the property, and that there's just simply no protection from inspectors who might do things on their property that are going to hurt them. They do point out that California and other states have opted out of this, and so it is their view that this is not a requirement for Virginia. For that reason, I intend to vote with the farmers and to oppose the bill. And I do appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Senator. The senator from Spotsylvania, Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking to the bill briefly.
The senator has the floor.
First, I'd like to align my comments with the senior senator from Loudoun. I think we've also received those same emails. but would the senator from Stafford rise for a question?
Would the senator from Stafford yield for a question? He yields, Senator.
Mr. President, first I'd like to thank the senator from Stafford as chairman for carrying these bills. Sometimes it is difficult, and I appreciate him putting this bill forward. Mr. President, I would ask the senator from Stafford, are there any things within this code that if the current administration decides to turn around the Code of Federal Regulations that would allow Virginia not to have this code section?
The senator from Stafford.
Yes, Mr. President. I thank the gentleman for the question. If you look at the enactment clauses at the bottom from 50 to 58, if the federal funds cease, the program ceases. If the current administration decides to eliminate this program would so cease as well, on par with that.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Spotsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.
The senator from Augusta County, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speak to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. As someone who represents an ag-intensive area, I want to stand with the senator from Stafford in support of this bill since he seemed like he was lonely on it. It's a food safety issue, Mr. President. It's something that is supported broadly by those that are impacted by it, and so I would hope the body would support the measure.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Western Fairfax County, Senator Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of the bill. The randomness of these inspections, even if they are daily, you don't announce health inspections ahead of time. When I ran a facility for children, a detention home, the health department never called me and told me when they were coming by. I was expected to live by the rules in between inspections, and so the randomness of it is an important piece, and I urge you to support the bill.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall Senate Bill 1195 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, nor are the senators ready to vote. Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their votes? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 25, noes 15.
Ayes 25, noes 15. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 1224, a bill relating to landowner liability